experience change. So let me start this presentation with a question. So what has been the most drastic change in your life till now? I'm sorry? All right, I'll tell you what mine was. So the most drastic change in my life was when I left my home for the first time. I know what Nitin's most drastic change was. His was when he froze on the stage for the first time, and the change that this incident brought in his life was that he became less confident, and since then I believe he has never been able to face a large audience. So most of us, in fact all of us, experience change at every moment in our lives. For some, it is exciting. For some, it is scary. And some, however, have no control over the change that they face. They are forced to face the brutalities that life throws at them. And yet, they face everything that Providence throws at them courageously. So let us now take you through the stories of lives of some of such people.
So I am here to talk about Einar Wegner. He was married to a beautiful painter, Gerda Gottlieb. And both of them were painters. So one fine morning, Gerda told him, "Why don't you dress like a woman and I paint a painting for you?" And boy, he was looking stunning in that. This is how Lily was born. In fact, he himself tells in his diary that I cannot deny, as strange as it may sound, that I enjoyed myself in the disguise. I liked the feel of soft women's clothing. I felt very much at home in them from the very first moment. So she somehow gathered the courage to tell this to her family, and that she needed to have sex change. Can you imagine how hard it would have been to tell this to your family, to your beloved wife, and to your sister? But she somehow confronted them and came and fought against the societal pressure. And the rest is history. She is the first man to have sex reassignment surgery. Can we imagine what she went through? Can we imagine that she had to go those hormonal changes? Can we imagine? No, we cannot. There are people who don't have that kind of family support like she had. Her wife supported her throughout his journey, but there are people who don't get that luxury. They can't just afford that luxury. There are people who are put into mental asylums just when they express this thought. I'm here to make you sensitive about this topic. So please imagine how it would feel to be in her place.
Thank you, Saksham. I would now like to talk about Iqbal. Iqbal flunked his 5th standard. Iqbal had no friends. Iqbal hated everyone. Don't be like, I was going to say don't be like Iqbal, but I won't. Because whatever happened, he had no control over it. One day, when he came back from school, his house was destroyed in a terrorist attack. He lost everything. He lost his father, who used to teach him how to cycle. He lost his mother, who would make delicious food for him. He lost his sister, who loved him to infinity and beyond. Everything changed for him in a matter of few hours. He lost his family, and along with it, his belief in the society. There are a lot of Iqbals, in our society, in India, and all over the world who have to go through similar experiences. The question is, do we really need violence to make a statement? Is the pen really mightier than the sword?
Now, let's look at the story of a mother. A mother whose 13-year-old daughter had cancer. When Sheba Amir discovered that her daughter had cancer, she was devastated. Her whole life turned upside down. But it was time to show some courage, and she did exactly that. She tried to get the best possible medical treatment for her daughter. The 13-year-old girl underwent several sessions of chemotherapy and also a bone marrow transplant. She recovered from the disease, but it was short-lived. She was infected again, and her struggle with cancer started all over again. But at this time, Sheba's life was shattered. She had just lost the daughter around whom her whole life revolved. But she tried to show some courage, and she chose to fight back. She started an organization called Solace. And through this organization, she is now helping the other cancer patients and their families to help them in their fight against cancer. For her work, she has received several awards. And this housewife, who had never seen the world outside her home, is now helping other people, other cancer patients, and is also an inspiration for all of us.
I would like to start with a question. When it comes to your life, whom do you all trust the most? Exactly, we trust our family. But you see the lady here, her name is Bahura Bai. She doesn't trust her family. In fact, she is very much afraid of them. Any guesses why? 2 years back, her brother-in-law and relatives tried to choke her. Her sister-in-law wants to burn her alive. Her nephew wants to cut her in pieces. You might be thinking, why is it so? The reason is that they believe that she is a witch. It all started 15 years back. It happened so in a marketplace. She touched a small girl on her forehead. And when the girl went back to her home, she fainted and collapsed. And a few weeks later, one of her brother-in-law had a fatal disease. She was then dragged out of her mud and brick home in front of all the local village leaders who were smoking and drinking as usual. The villagers listened to the leaders, and in spite of her pleas and sobs, they didn't listen to her. She was at that moment very much surprised, and without any understanding of what was happening, so as she can plead her case, the villagers pounced on her. She was beaten with bamboo sticks, iron rods. She was paraded naked around the village, and then she was forced to consume human excreta. It didn't stop there. She was then tied to an electric pole, just as to make the villagers visualize their belief that witches defy electricity. She was beaten up until she fainted, and then she was left near a temple so that she can die alone. But her husband, who was the only person who supported her at that moment, came to her rescue, and that is the reason why she is alive today. This isn't the case just about Bahura Bai. In fact, there are several other women who are accused, beaten up, and even executed in the name of witch hunting. As per the data of National Crime Bureau records, in the last 2 decades, around 2,500 of women are killed in the name of witch hunting. And out of that, 400 are from Jharkhand. This doesn't mean that Jharkhand is the only place where this kind of activities occur. There are 11 different states in India where we have been registering frequent cases related to these kind of activities. Think about the cases which never come up in the public domain. This is the severity of the situation. It is just a matter of 1 or 2 incidents which change the perception of the society or our family towards them. And they are subjected to social rejection. They have to accept the change and they have to feel unworthy of their outcast life.
You may be wondering, why would we choose such a grim topic? You know, we could have had so many interpretations to this experience change. Thing is, even the most drastic experiences most of us would have faced over here would pale in comparison to the topics we discussed today. We would like to apologize if we offended anyone or, undermined the seriousness of any of these topics. So that is all from us right now. We are open to questions. Thank you.